So the most valuable employee of Collabera award, probably a dream of everybody in Collabera, and the biggest award of the night. You won it, Arvind. How are your feelings, about winning that award?
If I have to answer it in one word, I was obliged.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, this is Waleed. I've been a talent acquisition manager with Collabera. I've been with the company for the last 8 years. And today we have a very special guest. He has bred a lot of discipline and punctuality in a lot of leaders that are upcoming with Collabera. He himself joined as a talent specialist, has worked in telecom and a lot of other areas. Our guest today is Arvind. Welcome, Arvind.
Thank you so much, Walid, for having me here.
All right, so Arvind, I always wanted to ask you this question. You come from an army background and you landed into a night job in Collabera. Tell us about your journey, how it has been.
All right, well, it's very interesting, Walid. You will not believe it, but in my 18 years of life, I had never looked into or knew how exactly a civilian life looked like. Throughout, my dad had transferred to different places and I lived into cantonment. So that cantonment was my mini world. All the schoolings were done in army school or Kendriya Vidyalaya. Every 3 years we had to pack our bags and go to different places. The matter of fact, when I joined Collabera, my parents were happy. I know it is assuming, but they were really happy because think about that. I comes from a background where my father used to come to home once in 6 months. Right? In fact, he was part of that Kargil war also, where a letter or envelope used to come in 6 months. Wow. Here, my parents has a guarantee that every morning my son will come back home. So my parents were very happy, by the way. So yeah, that's how I landed here. And since I came here, I think one thing which was common was discipline. So that helped me to keep growing in the ladder.
That's great. So Arvind, you married somebody in Collabera, now with Sandion. You found your life partner in the same company. And we have so many other couples as well in the company who came here and found their life partner. What are your opinions and views on that?
Okay, yeah. So we certainly have few. You talk about Sayam, we talk about Vishant, you talk about few more. Maybe who knows, you also. But yeah, it is interesting. Well, I find love of my life in the same organization and I'm very happy about it because I don't have to scout outside. She was in the same org, and what funny and where she still teases me that I never proposed her. We were in the same org. I felt that there is some connection and I directly approached her and asked her that, hey, will you marry me? Will your parents agree? And it clicked. I personally feel, Walid, if you can find your life partner, your future spouse in the same organization, lot of things get sorted. You don't have to tell that person what exactly you do in night, why sometime your work hour get extended, why sometime even on weekends you have to go for campuses. So, lot of chemistry gets sorted from day one. I personally feel myself blessed that I got a person who understands me and who supports me. If I have grown up in this organization from a talent specialist to an associate director there, I will give, if not all, 50% credit to my better half because she always supported me whenever I felt low, whenever I was having difficulty setting priorities. She always helped me to set the right priority at the right time.
Got it. No, that's really good to know. And yeah, that's quite an inspiring story. And as you said, yeah, we have so many examples in the same company.
Yep.
Right. So Arvind, I also know that sometime back in 2018, you worked as a delivery manager, and you were working with 5 different NAMs at that time. And I know Parag was working directly with you as a VP at that time. Any interesting stories? Because I'm pretty sure you would have some as you work with Parag directly on that. What interesting stories do you have for us?
A lot. I don't know how many I can share, but there is something comes top of my head. Yes, Parag was not, by the way, the same Parag what he is today. He is today 10 times more mellow version of Parag. And it was needed because we as a vertical grew a lot. So yes, we had 5 NAM. There was different NAM for AT&T, different for Verizon, different for Ericsson. Things were good, things were going good, but there were some rough patches. I remember one of my calls with Parag, where he calls me as well as Sanjay. So there is a director on call, there is a delivery manager on call, and the VP calls and says, "You fire that team lead."
Wow.
And then I am seeing Sanjay, because that is the first time I'm hearing a VP saying something like that, so rough. And then Sanjay, literally by sign language saying, "You wait, I will talk to him, don't worry." And I am panicking that how can he see that? I don't think that mistake was so huge that you fire that person. But you asked, that's why I said that was my initial remembrance of Parag. But now I know, that was just a moment. He was not that. And then eventually it sold through. Just for the record, that lead did not lose the job. He remained with us and learned and grew. But yeah, these are one of the moments. So Parag was very prompt. He was unfiltered. He will rip you apart if you do wrong. However, when I went to Cancun, because we really did good as a vertical, he was like godfather. He took care of me to the best. I don't think I ever got that welcomed by any of the US stakeholder the way he took care of me like his own. So I have seen both the side of him.
So Arvind, I wanted to even ask about the margin management initiative, one of the most popular initiative we have had in Collabera, Sandion. You were the face of that initiative, and since then, I think whenever there's a talk about a new contest being initiated or rolled out, people look forward to reaching out to you to pick up your brain. So tell me, what is that thing that makes you an expert in these initiatives and these new contests that we have in Collabera?
I personally feel, Valid, Arvind Upadhyay before margin management, Arvind Upadhyay after margin management are two different personalities, because I personally learned a lot from all the stakeholders, be it Alok, be it Sakib, be it Sanjay, John, and later stage Arun. That gave me a lot of confidence and empowerment to do something different, because if you remember, as part of margin management, we used to roll out a lot of small mini contests.
Yeah.
So that, in that way, I would rather put it in this way, that not only that gave me confidence, but also I was able to, I was challenged to come back with some or different ideas every single time, unique, so that I can excite people to run behind it. And then rest, everything is history.
My next question is, I know you made the statement, and I was very inspired when I listened to it, and I wanted to know the why behind it. You said, "I will retire with Collabera." What made you say that statement?
Again, it's kind of funny, when we all join as a talent specialist, right? I'm very sure. Let me ask you, but before that, you joined Collabera. How many people were there in the batch when you joined?
9 to 10 people. Yeah, 10 people.
And how many would be still there in the company?
I'm the only one left now.
All right. So it's not a different thing. Now you can correlate my answer. When I joined, there were good 20-24 people. And by the way, my friend Utsav, if he's watching this, Utsav was also a part of my batch. I think we are just 2 left. And I was seeing people leaving, for, couple of ₹1,000 hikes to a small body shops and whatnot. And at that day, it clicked my mind, because then Mehul used to run the show, and Sanjay was my delivery manager, and Pradeep was my team lead, and so on. I observed that everybody who was sitting at the top, they were recruiter ones. Today, if you talk with Parag, who is our president, he was recruiter once. Sanjay is one of the executive directors. Pradeep is one of the directors. Sayam is talent head. He was also recruiter. At that day, at early stage, I realized that if I do good, if I am honest with my job, if I am disciplined, if I am delivering my results, nobody can stop me to grow in this organization. And this is an organization who really promote people on the basis of merit. 100%. And now it's a testimony. You will also agree whatever I just said. Because if you do good, you will get promoted. And hence I said on that day that, see, if you're getting money, fame, empowerment, as well as learning, why would you change jobs? You would rather retire from that organization.
Absolutely, yeah, that makes complete sense. You made the move from business to talent, and now you're working very closely and directly with Sayam. And there is a huge personality difference, between the both of you. So, any interesting stories in your experience as a talent head with Sayam?
Yeah, so you made me think. I still remember 1.5 years ago when Vinay called me and said, NRT not happening, it's Collabera, and you have to work with Sayam. That was my first time I was ever working with him. We started working together, and yes, there was a difference in approach. And yes, there were some difference of opinion also in the beginning. I will not lie to that. But what amazed me, Walid, that so far, I have worked with similar type of people and who had a particular way of doing. So I was so much aligned with them. But here I realized that there is always multiple ways to get the same thing done. One thing that always I loved and admired about that person is how much he genuinely cared for his people, how much he cared for the organization, how much he always keep both business and people in center and try to make a balance. More and more I started working with him, more respect I started gathering for that guy. We have a very funny instance where we talk about hey, you read my mind. I will tell you a funny story about it. Is once I was thinking something and I pinged Sayam, I am thinking, and he is like, yeah, I was also thinking the same thing. After some time, what started happening that he used to think of something and I used to ping, hey, I was thinking about this, and he really just sarcastically say, you read my mind. What I'm trying to imply is, when your thoughts are aligned, when you both are thinking about our people, about the organization, and after some time, no matter how you grew up in the organization, your end goal starts getting aligned, and hence your thoughts also getting aligned without saying anything. So yeah, that's one funny thing I wanted to share. But I personally feel that in this very short period of time, I not just met a good mentor, but a genuinely good human being who care for his people.
Yeah, and it's true what they say, great minds think alike. I think that's the situation with you and Sayam.
Yep.
So the most valuable employee of Collabera award, probably a dream of everybody in Collabera, and the biggest award of the night. You won it, Arvind. How are your feelings, about winning that award?
If I have to answer it in one word, I was obliged. I felt whatever I did selflessly, whatever I did was actually being watched. I remember Sanjay being there, Dak being there, Pradeep being there, while Sayam was narrating the entire story. I did not know that he really knew all the sacrifices I had made at personal level as well as company level. And that again, I will just try to add it back to remember when I had shared that I really wanted to retire from the same company, because it really gave an attestation that you are in an organization that values you more. So again, the one word is obliged.
All right. So Arvind, I wanted to ask about Collabera's cultural committee, CCC. We have never had something like this in the past, and you came up with this idea, and it's been running too well now. We have a lot of initiatives, and there are a lot of subgroups in it. I wanted to ask, and you're the current chair of CCC, of course, but what are the future aspirations, and what is your vision for CCC now?
Glad you asked. Well, I still remember Sayam calling me and telling me that, hey, I want you to chair CCC. I want you to lead CCC, Collabera Cultural Committee. And first thought came to my mind that what exactly I'm going to do. But I'm glad he had that faith in me. And he recommended few names part of the core committee, and I'm truly blessed that they really did what I expected from them. But this is how I think, Walid. I feel cultural committee is nothing but reflecting what values more to you as an organization. We know we are a hard-working organization. We know we don't do bad with anybody. We know that we genuinely care for our people. Using CCC as a platform, we try to reciprocate it. You talk about the sub-clubs in CCC, be it sports club, be it sustainability club or anything else. You talk about any other CSR activities we do. You talk about our people chipping their own money to make sure any of the initiatives get better, or we do some CSR activity. Everything is voluntary, and that's talk about heart. While Parag was last here, he gave a new angle to it, that we really want to be an elite team. Whatever we do, let's do our best, because that's what Collabera is. So if you ask me what my vision is, well, my vision is I reciprocate to all my fellow collaborants through CCC that hey, we have to be elite in everything we do. While we do, if we are doing charity, if we are doing any CSR activity, let's do to the best of our heart. If we are doing any sports getting organized by CCC, let's do to the best, so the people really have fun at that time. And when the same members are back in office at their desk doing their work, they are coming back with the same positivity that they are doing something extra, not just for money, but really making this place a better place for all the fellow collaborators. Because see, you and I both have grown from the same place. We want others to do the same thing. We are just providing them a platform.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and I personally can say how much CCC has impacted each and every person in Collabera, and how excited they are about the sports club, the CSR club, and all the other clubs that we have. So Arvind, what is one advice that you want to give to all the current leaders in making?
Well, a very practically implementable advice, and I will give it from my own journey, because I was a talent specialist, became an associate director. One thing I will tell is, what made you a successful team lead will not make you a successful manager. What made you a successful manager will not make you a successful senior manager. What made you a successful senior manager will certainly not make you a successful director. So at every stage of life, every stage in your career journey, you have to keep acquiring new skill. So if you ask me one single advice, Walid, I will say, please keep your eyes open, keep your brain open, and keep learning new skills, because at every stage you will be needing different competencies.
All right, Arvind, thank you very much for your time. I'm pretty sure the people will know a lot more about you and your journey since beginning than they did before this.
Thank you so much for having me, Walid.
And we'll see you in the next episode of Community. Thank you.